guys, what is up? It is Dalton here, and welcome back to Video Game Finds number 40. Now that's crazy, we're at 40 already, guys. That's unbelievable. Pretty soon, before you know it, we're going to be at 50. That's just crazy. But anyways, I've got some pretty good stuff this week, and get this, it's all local stuff. Nothing here is from eBay this week, which is pretty impressive, especially for this time of year. So, without further ado, let's get started with it. I've got one thing from Craigslist, and the rest is from like thrift stores and pawn shops. So I'll go ahead and start off with the Craigslist stuff because that's the first thing that I found this week. So we'll go ahead and start that stuff. It is NES and SNES stuff, and nothing too like special, but it'll definitely benefit for stuff for myself later on. So I figured, when I saw this on Craigslist, I was like, I need to pick this up, especially because of how good a deal that it was. So I'll go ahead and start off with these. What first I'll show off is what came with the bundle. Is we've got 4 NES controllers here. They're all the official brand ones. All these, they all work fantastically. There's only one in here that I needed to tape up the cord a little bit because it had some like bite marks in it. But there's 4 of those, and they all function very nicely. I was really impressed, especially with the one that was like all chewed up and everything. So there's those, and then we've got 4 games here. 3 are NES and 1 is an SNES game. I'll go ahead and start off with the 3 NES games here. The first one we have here is Excite Bike. There's that one. This one's pretty common. I've got like 5 of these now. Fester's Quest. And the last one here I was really happy to find. It's the first copy I've found in a while, and that is Super Mario Bros. 2. So there we go. There's those. And those all cleaned up nicely, and they played very well. So that was cool. And then they also came with 2 official Nintendo hard cases here. I will be keeping these because I try to get as many of these as I can. Just because, why not, right? So I've been trying to find more of these lately, and that was cool that the Craigslist deal had a couple of them, so that's very cool. And the last game here is a Super Nintendo game, and I haven't found one of these in a while either, and that is Super Mario All-Stars. And it's got some discoloration to the back, so that lets me know that someone played it a lot. So, but that's that's what it's for, right? So, but anyways, very cool to find all those games and the controllers and stuff. And that stuff right there was only $25 off of Craigslist, and it was really funny because, but it's pretty common around here. I contacted him. He had posted it. It was only 2 hours old of an ad. It was like 10:30 at night. And I felt kind of bad doing so because I texted him, but I felt kind of bad because it was so late. But he happened to still be awake. So he actually was responding to me and everything. And we actually set up a deal for the next day so I could go pick it up. And what happened was when I got there and I picked it up from him, he had told me that 8 other people had contacted him since I did. And I was like, oh, that's why you got to be quick on Craigslist because it'll just go like it's nothing, and it's crazy. But anyways, I'm glad I got that stuff, and so yeah, very cool. So $25 is a really good deal for that stuff, especially because like Mario All Stars, I think almost goes for that alone. So very cool. All right, next, this is really cool. This is my first that I've ever gotten, and this is the reason for the title of the video this week. I got a lead from my friend George that I know from Goodwill and stuff, and he goes all over the place. I mean, this guy is all over every thrift store that you could think of around here. He'll be there. He'll always be there. He always gets stuff, and he happened to spot this for me. And he didn't buy it because it didn't come with everything, and I'm not too worried about that because I can eventually just piece it together, and complete it. But what he told me was because there's a little town outside of where I live that hardly anyone goes to because it's kind of like a smaller suburb area. And anyway, I didn't even know this place existed. There was a Habitat for Humanity thrift store in this town, and I had never knew it was even there. And he told me about it. He called me and he's like, "Hey Dalton, there's a really cool setup here that I'm not going to pick up because it doesn't have everything, because usually he buys stuff to resell. But he told me about it, and he thought I would be really interested in it, which I am. And so I decided to drive down there, and you know, I found this and I thought it was amazing. But that is the Indigo Nintendo GameCube boxed system here, and it's the Legend of Zelda Collector's Edition bonus bundle. The only thing wrong with this is that I'm pretty certain that these came with like a cardboard insert tray for everything to keep divided inside the box. It doesn't have that, and the other unfortunate part is it does not have the game. So that's kind of a bummer, because it's going to be kind of hard to find that game, especially because it's, you know, because it only came from, you know, these bundles. So I'm going to have to figure out how I'm going to, you know, piece that together. It'll be one day, I'm sure, but it'll be a while, because it's kind of a hard game to find. But it's got, you know, the controller, the console, all the cords, the paperwork. It's in really nice shape. The console's in really good shape. The box is a little beat up because it's got some tape residue on it, because they taped like, I'll show it to you. They had an extra controller with it. Okay. This is I think this is like, I'm not sure what brand this even is. Oh, it's a Pelican. It's a Pelican controller, which works very fine. Very well, I should say. It doesn't sound right when I say very fine. That's weird. But the controller worked very well. It came with 2 extension cables here for controllers. So there's those. It came with a 59 block Pelican memory card with a little dust sleeve cover even. So there's that. And it came with 6 hard cases, like for disc onlys. And these were like all taped to the front of the box, which is a very big no-no because it can ruin the box. I was very, very careful with it, but it kind of left some tape residue, and I'm afraid to even wipe it off because it'll take the coloring out of the box and everything. So I kind of have to deal with it. But if anything, I could probably, you know, upgrade it in the future or anything like that. But for now, that's even cool because that's my first boxed GameCube technically. So. But anyways, they had it marked at a really odd price. I don't know if they meant to do it so that the tax would even it out or whatever, but they had $28 on it, and I ended up paying about $30 after tax. But if you ask me, I think $30 for a boxed GameCube like that in that good of shape, especially for the Zelda Edition one, I think that's a really good deal. I'm not complaining at all. I'm really glad that George told me about that because I don't have a boxed GameCube yet, and so now I do. So, and for it to be the Zelda one, I thought that was really cool. So, so there's that. So $30 is a really good deal. Alright, and then there's only a couple more things this week, guys. I know it's kind of a small amount of stuff, but I mean, it's still pretty cool stuff. But this stuff I found yesterday. By the way, the GameCube and the Craigslist games came from, I think I got those on Thursday. And then Friday I didn't find anything, and then now this is yesterday's stuff, which was Saturday. I found 3 controllers and an NES game. I'll go ahead and show them in how I found them in chronological order, if you will. So the first thing I found here is a Sony brand PlayStation 2 controller. This was $2, and you know, unfortunately, it does not work fully. These are just like a hit and miss gamble all the time when you buy these. That's why sometimes when I see them, sometimes I just avoid them, just because I'm afraid of them not working. Sometimes I'll buy them just in case, you know, like, you know, could or could not work. It's a gamble, really. It is a gamble. So, but I ended up striking it, you know, bad, I guess, with this one because it doesn't work right. So, I guess it'll just go on the decoration wall of controllers because that's usually what I do with the broken ones because there's nothing else I can really do with a broken PS2 controller unless I really want to sit and wait and sell them on eBay, but they usually don't sell very well because they're just, you know, people don't really buy them that whole lot broken. So anyways, there's that. And then I found another one of these, which is really good. These are really helpful. There's a gray Nintendo Zapper here, and it's in very good shape. It's really weird. I was looking at it at the store, and I was like, that doesn't look right. It's missing the plastic like lens inside the barrel, but it does not affect it. Like, it still works perfectly fine. So I don't know how that even came out of there. I don't know like how it still works without it, but I mean, it works fine. It still, you know, triggers and everything, and it still, you know, flashes on screen. I can hit all the ducks and duck hunt and everything. So I mean, I'm not complaining. It works just fine. So, but this was only $3. So very good deal for that. I guess I could say it was $5 since the PS2 controller doesn't work, but who knows? We'll figure it out. I'll work with that kind of pricing, you know, whatever. But anyways, there's that. And then I went to a pawn shop that I usually kind of just skip by because I don't go there a whole lot because they don't get stuff a whole lot, but I decided to stop in, and I'm glad I did because I found another NES game for the collection, and that is Adventures of Tom Sawyer. And they had this marked at $4.95, and I asked them if they'd take 4 because you can ask prices and stuff at pawn shops, and they had no problem with that, so I got it for $4. And it turns out that I remember this used to be worth about like $8 or $9. It's actually up to about 11 now. So very cool. So definitely one to add to the collection because it's in very good shape. It had one name written in Sharpie on the label, but it wiped off nicely because it has a clear overlay. It just kind of wipes off. So very cool. Definitely another one for the collection. So I'm very happy for that. So that's cool. And the last thing here, I've never picked up one of these before. I have no way of testing it, but I thought it was pretty cool and a cheap deal, so I decided to get it, and that's an Atari 2600 joystick controller paddle. However you want to name it, controller, paddle, joystick, whatever. But this is an official, original Atari 2600 controller. Very good shape. I mean, this one looks brand new. Technically, it's, probably only been used a few times because it doesn't show a whole lot of wear on it. So, anyways, these go for probably about $11, $12 if you're lucky on eBay. But I'm going to hold off onto it for now, just because I'm not sure what I'm going to do with it yet, because I have no way of testing it unless I can go over to Games Ahoy and have them, plug it into an Atari 2600 and test it. But, I mean, for now, I'll just kind of hang on to it and see what I can do with it. But I think for $1, I couldn't really pass that up. So, very cool. Alright guys, that is going to do it for this week. Thank you for liking, subscribing, sharing, telling your friends and stuff. It really helps me out. I really enjoy you guys, enjoying my stuff, so let's keep this going, it's really cool. So I do have some stuff coming in the mail from eBay. I'm not sure when it should show up. It should show up next week sometime, so I should be expecting to be making another video next weekend for sure, so stay tuned for that. And hopefully I can find some more local stuff, because that's awesome to find stuff locally, especially. So, anyways, I think that should do it, guys. Thanks again. Happy gaming, and I'll see you next time, guys. Take care. Bye.